I'll be going over resume essentials. This will help you to develop, create, and write your cover letter and your resume. But the purpose of a resume is a summary of your skills, qualifications that advertise what you have to offer an employer. So this is basically saying this is who I am and this is why I can be an assistant in your company or organization. What the reality is they pretty much scan through these things, and there's sometimes 200, 300 applicants, and employers devote an average to 15 to 30 seconds when reading each resume. So imagine how much time you're just briefly skimming over if they hit the qualifications. So you want a certain look for your resume, so make sure the font style is all the same. You don't want different fonts here and there because it looks nice. You want consistency throughout. You want to make sure that you have correct margins and it's not like 1 inch here and a ½ inch here. It's all the same length. The length of a resume, you preferably want a page. It can go to 2 pages, but preferably at 1 page length. Don't leave many white spaces. If you want to put in a line to separate the skills from the qualifications or summary, you can do that. So make sure your contact information is correct. This is how they'll be contacting you. So you want to put your name a little bit bigger than everything else because you want that to stand out. And then you'll put in your address, and this one shows your current address and permanent address, but if it's the same, then just your address. You make sure your phone number and then email address. So another thing to make sure that it's a professional email. You don't want to put, like, for example, on here I say hotmama@gmail. Make sure you put, if you don't have one that looks professional, then you can make one, either Gmail, Yahoo, Microsoft, so any of those that you can make an email. Try to put your either first, last name, or first name, and then a number or something like that, so that it looks more professional when you're sending out the resumes. Education. So if most of you now are in Chaffey, so this student is my friend, so this is an example of hers. So she put in that she's the university she got her bachelor's degree from. So what you would put in is on the top you put Chaffey College, and then you put associate's degree in maybe science or something to what you're getting your associate's degree, and then your anticipated graduation date would be on the other side where it says June. So over here is where your anticipated graduation date. If this is above a 3.0, then include it. If not, you don't have to include the GPA. Okay? And then as far as if you have more education, you can put that on there. If you no education, most likely you guys all have at least Chaffey College to put on there, because that's what you're currently in. And this is a little bit longer than what you probably have already or don't have. This is part of my resume, just to disclose to you guys my information. So this is an example of one of my jobs that I do. So I besides what I'm a Chaffey counselor and instructor, I'm also a nursing counselor. Let's say I work for this school, and now I'm going to list my experience. So what I do at the actual my actual job over there. So create action plans with related students, basically listing out everything entailing what I do at my current job. You could use both. So you could, if you're barely in the field, this is what you could put in: related experience to the actual experience. I put both in mine because I have actually counseling experience and I have related experience. So both is good, or if you don't have the actual experience itself, related experience is good. That would be for your experience part. These are some action verbs you can list on your resume. I did put this in a PDF so you can print it out and then use some of these. Very good words: implemented, improved, influenced, strengthened, attended, authorized, balanced, budgeted. These are strong action words that you can use that will make your resume a little bit more depth. So how do you use it? So this is before. This is your resume before. I participated in fundraising events for my fraternity. Well, that sounds nice. But after, let's put in those action words. Planned and organized successful fundraising events for my fraternity. Increased funds raised by 20% over previous years. So that's what an employer wants to see. Like, whoa, what did you implement? What did you do? And how did you use these action verbs, these skills into action? So this is one example. Another example is I helped with workshops at a conference that I attended. Okay, effectively facilitated workshops on communication skills and assertiveness as part of regional conferences schedule, creating an engaging educational experience for participants. Obviously, this is not going to relate to you right now, but just to show you an example how you can turn one sentence into a little bit more in depth on your resume. Details is key. What other sections can you have listed on your resume? So languages. So I, for example, speak 2 languages. So I would put fluent in Spanish and English, reading, writing. All of that would be listed on my resume because it's something that would be a desired quality, right? If I speak Farsi or Arabic or Mandarin, something like that, very demanding languages. Internships, computer skills, special training, memberships. So I have a membership on mine. I'm part of like a CTA, and I'm part of the California School Counselors Association. So putting that on there makes it bulk up your resume and also makes you look very good. Relevant coursework, like I showed you earlier. For my high school students, any honors or awards always looks very good. Volunteer activities as well for my high school students. Obviously, you're not going to have many job skills, so volunteer activities is very good. So volunteering at your church or volunteering for a neighbor, and any of those can be listed. So skills is another one that I want to get into. Some of the skills that you're going to list. So this particular person put conversational French, working knowledge of Excel, PowerPoint, SPSS, advanced knowledge of Photoshop. So I know some students are really good at Photoshop and computer skills. That's all should be in your resume. Some more skills that you'd want to add onto your resume. This is a larger list. I couldn't fit it all in there. I tried. Just to name a few. You remember your language skills, creative thinking skills, decision-making skills, planning skills, and you want to give examples later on. If let's say you get the interview, I'll talk about that, how you would give examples. Communication skills, leadership, planning, organizing. This could even be like of a party, or just how it's explained earlier for the fraternity. Problem solving and teamwork. So you could be working at a fast food restaurant, but it does require you to do a lot of teamwork together. So that could be something that can be listed. So this is an example of Frederick. So Frederick, remember the name is in bold. Okay, so you want that to be at least 14 to 16 points, so you want that to be bigger. You want your address on there, and then you can put a line, or you don't have to. You can put it in the middle. Look up online some templates. Google has some nice resume templates you can use. Some of the futuristic ones, some employers will take it and accept it. This is more of a generic one that's eye-catching, easy to read. Something that's like if it's over here and then something's over here, it might be too much for the employer to shift eyes in that 30 seconds. Use clear font, and make sure if you do use bullet points, they're all the same font. Maybe make sure, again, consistency, headings. So you want to make sure you put your headings out there, your skills, and keep it to one page, preferably. Everything that is more recent. So obviously education, you're getting education now. Expected graduation date, education will be first, and then any experience or related experience. This has to do with coursework, so this will be good for computers. If you're going into a computer software or engineering, anything like that, any computer software that's more relevant, you'd want to list it here. Really important. So this just goes over how you would use it. And then make sure you use the present if you're working in it now. So if you're currently working somewhere, you put the date you started up until present. And then this will be this will be more of your past tense, so what you did before. So this is development of the resume. So this is someone who already did theirs, and this will be more something that your cover letters. This one's something you want to stand out. It's going to be your first thing that you're going to send to employers, and the first cover. So this could be either, I will tell you that my cover letter, I wasn't getting interviews, and then I had my colleague look it over, and she just modified it and edited it and made it look so much and sounded so much better. Every application I put in for counseling, I got an interview for because of my cover letter. So I will tell you, very important that they do stand out for the recruiter. So for example, I applied to a school, I think in Fullerton College, and all they wanted was the cover letter. They didn't even ask for a resume. They just said, just send your cover letter. Send me my cover letter, and then they got an interview. So I was just like, wow, that can really sell you. So examples, it should be preferably also one page, because this is another thing that they're going to be scanning over as well. Mine myself is 2 pages because of the experience, but yours should be about 1 page. You're going to put in your name on top again, a little bit larger. You're going to put the date. This is going to be who it's to, so the hiring manager, the address, and then dear, and then whoever it is, HR, the name that they asked you to send your resume to. And then the first paragraph should go over of yourself, your introductory, and why you're interested in how you found the position and why you're interested in applying for this job. And then the second paragraph is going to go directly into the job descriptions and describing how your previous experience and everything else that you've done before relates to what you want to do for the future. And then, so some things you can include. I prefer paragraph, and then to go over the end is how you expect a call back from them. That would be for the future, and to hear back from them. So this includes the resume workshop. Hopefully this helps you guys out when developing it.